Most people pray for breakthrough financially, but ignore the system God already has set in place. You're asking God to move. You're asking God to bless you financially, to help you where there's a need. But you're not honoring the principle He's already established. See, God doesn't operate on randomness. He operates on seed, time, and harvest. Galatians 6:7, whatever a man sows, that he will reap. It says he will reap, not might, not could, will reap. In fact, Genesis 8:22 says, while the earth remains, and it still does, seed time and harvest shall not cease. That means this is not a suggestion, it's a law. You don't reap, and I want you to grab a hold of this. You don't reap what you want, you reap what you sow. You don't reap instantly, you reap after a process. And that's where most people quit, in between the seed and the harvest. One of the greatest breakthroughs in my ministry, in my personal life, was when a good friend of mine, Joey, once said, you need to sow a seed. Okay? I had just taken on this new coaching role. And so I was a contractor, but for a much larger company. And the first paycheck was coming, that first commission check. And he said, you need to sow a seed. You need to sow at first fruit. And so I looked at the bills and looked at everything. And I thought, okay. And the mind jumped in and thought, well, I could use it here. I could sow part of it. I could use the rest of it here. And I finally said, no. And I took that first check, which was pretty significant, and I sowed it. I made a decision. I wasn't pressured, but I was following the leading of the word and the leading of my friend. And I was basically saying, Lord, I'm trusting you more than my fear of letting this money go over this other place. Given when, if you look logically and financially, it didn't make sense. But you know what? That new opportunity opened up, finances opened up, and it actually was so much greater than the small amount in comparison that I had sowed. So, was it coincidence? No, it's alignment. Listen carefully. Sowing is not about losing money, it's about positioning yourself for increase. Luke 6:38, give and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. God is not mocked, and neither is His system. So here's the key. We trust the world system, right? You trust your job, the economy, inflation. That system's there, right? That Babylonian system. But do you question God's system? That's the disconnect. So if you want a different harvest, you need a different seed. And for those who've counseled with me or followed me for years, you've heard me say it over and over. As it is written in the book of Genesis, every seed produces after its own kind. So a financial seed will produce a financial harvest. If I have a need financially, I'm going to sow financially. If I have a need that maybe there's a lack of honor or a lack of respect, or I'm trying to gain influence in an area, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to still sow. I'm going to sow financially, but I'm going to sow in honor. I'm going to honor someone, because honor begets honor. Okay? So should you pray? Absolutely. But also sow and see what God does. So if you believe God still honors His word, then type in comments. Just type the word amen in comments and share this with someone. Share this with someone, because every seed will produce after its own kind. Tomorrow I'm going to share with you another amazing story where I would say I put God to the test, but He asked me to. And wow, what a lesson I learned from it. So again, share this with someone. If you need personal counseling, ministry, then go to PastorWayneSutton.com. Let's go to PastorWayneSutton.com and scroll down, and you can sign up for a session there. I look forward to hearing from you. Remember this, everything that you need is already there, already in seed form. Sow and receive.